Step inside my twisted world where heroes will collide. Villains aren't the only evil, there are no fucking sides. Every match will test their stats, every loss and win are weighed. Any chance they thought they had could all end up in vain on Combo Breaker.
Nintendo, the most iconic video game company ever, really. These guys are like the Disney of video games, pumping out new and creative ideas with epic characters. And while their old stuff is amazing, their new stuff is just as unique and fun. And today's fighters are Nintendo's two newest IPs, the Inkling, the turf war queen from Splatoon, and Springman, Nintendo's blue bouncer. So I've been playing the Nintendo Switch a lot, and of the three games I've played, ARMS is definitely the most unique. But that's not to say Mario Odyssey and Kirby Superstar Allies aren't amazing, because I freaking love those games. ARMS is just by far the most unique. But without further ado, let's go ahead and talk about Springman. So Springman, like almost all of his opponents in the game, doesn't actually have arms. How ironic, actually. Why name your game ARMS if you're not gonna have arms? Well, having no arms would typically mean you would kinda suck at boxing, but not for Springman. You see, Springman has springs for arms, allowing him to throw powerful punches. Literally, like he throws them across the stage. God, imagine how overpowered he'd be in Smash Brothers. Yeah, due to his spring arms, he can actually extend his arms to hit people from really far away. Not just hit them, but also grab them too. Now, he has 3 standard fists that he can have equipped to him at any point. And these arms are pretty unique. There's the Toaster, which is a pair of standard boxing gloves that can be charged to ignite into flames and burn the opponent. He also has the Boomerang arm, which is has a curved trajectory and can be charged to have a vortex-ish element attached to it. And his third and final arm he can use is the Tri-Bolt, a triple-shot weapon that fires 3 small projectiles that, when fully charged, can stun opponents. Now, Springman has even more abilities, like he can dash, even in the air, might I add, and he can dash in almost any direction. He can also put up an energy barrier to block damage, however the shield can be broken with enough physical force, or if he's grabbed, it'll take him out of his shield. Springman can also send out a quick blue vortex-like ability to deflect other incoming punches from other arms. Springman also has a rage ability, that once he hits below 25% of his health, he'll actually get a huge strength boost. Well, not necessarily a huge one, but it's still a noticeable one. And in addition to his punches, he can launch out both arms simultaneously to grab and throw his opponents. Usually his grab involves a sick uppercut. He can also build up and use his rush mode for a quick burst of multiple attacks. Just a flurry of fully charged punches. It's ridiculously powerful too. Alright, so now on to what Springman is actually capable of. Springman is strong enough to pick up and throw other people long distances and even through stone pillars and shitty scrap pillars. He also has the strength to break said pillars with his own punches, in about 6 of these punches to be exact. He's also overpowered and beaten Max Brass, who uses arms meant to destroy buildings over time. Now, Springman is also fast enough to dodge punches from other arms fighters, including the 3-shot from the Tri-Bolt. He also dodged up to 18 of these shots from the Tri-Bolt, as seen when he fights the Headlock Machine. Not to mention, he's dodged all these attacks, and he's capable of fighting multiple opponents at once, about 4 or 5 to be specific. Springman is also durable as all hell, as he's been thrown through stone pillars, punched by several different types of arms, including ones meant to break buildings, plus he's been shocked, burned, and so much more. Now, Springman, while he is a skilled boxer, we actually don't know much about his intelligence. All we know is he really doesn't like math, and we can't necessarily judge his intelligence based on that. And Springman is far from perfect. See, due to his spring arms, his best attribute is also a huge weakness. Yeah, while Springman has extensive range with his punches, he blows at close range combat. Plus, his shield can be broken with physical force, and his arms, if they're punched while they're in the air, can actually go limp, making it so he can't punch for a little bit, which does kind of get rid of his only means of attacking. Nintendo's answer to games like Overwatch and even Call of Duty, and damn is it awesome. And with the Inkling now in Smash and that game being right around the corner, it's the perfect time to have them join the battle on Combo Breaker. For the second time. Her first time on here, she kind of got absolutely wrecked. So the Inkling girl, while adorable, is actually quite deadly. But before we talk about her arsenal, we need to talk about her special natural powers. The Inklings are made of ink, and thus they have 2 forms. The kid form, where they look like these adorable squid people, and the squid form, where they can hide in their own ink and refill their ammo. And even, not to mention, they can even heal while in their own ink and jump incredibly long distances. They can also climb up walls that are covered in their own ink and move incredibly fast while in their own ink. But now it's weapon time. The Inklings carry multiple special ink weapons they use to destroy their foes. They have their standard splatter shot that acts kind of like a machine gun, meant for far-range attacking. They also have a huge ink roller they can use to just steamroll all of their opponents, and they can even swing it to launch all sorts of ranged ink blasts. She also has her Charger, which is a high-powered sniper rifle that launches out ink, and the Slosher, which is a paint bucket, and they even have ink miniguns. That sounds overpowered as all shit. They also have dual-wield full-auto ink pistols, an ink shield, a giant paintbrush that they can use like a sword. They also have ink bombs, giant ink airstrikes, and the killer whale, which is like a huge sound wave attack that destroys foes. Hell, she even has tracking ink bombs, and they also have a device that slows down their opponent, and she can even turn into a kraken temporarily. But while they may use ink, the Inkling girl is actually incredibly strong. Their guns can shatter wooden crates, splat other Inklings and Octolings, and even destroy large metal bosses, and redirect steel rocket fists. They're also fast enough to react to their own ink-based weapons and explosions, and when it comes to durability, they can survive shots from their own weapons that, as I mentioned earlier, could redirect rocket fists and shatter crates and even destroy giant metal bosses. When it comes to intelligence, they are masters of combat, spending almost all of their free time in battles against each other and even Octolings, giving them tons of experience against all sorts of different weapons. But the Inkling girl isn't perfect. You see, she's actually very weak to water, and outside of their own ink, they're incredibly vulnerable in their squid form. Alright, our combatants are set. Which one of Nintendo's up-and-coming stars will win in a fight to the death? Springman is walking through the city, searching for the venue of his next fight. As he looks at a map, an ink shot flies through the air, narrowly missing Springman's head. Springman looks over to see an Inkling, who's standing on the rooftop holding a supercharger. Springman jumps up and launches a punch at the Inkling, who rolls to the side and hops off the building, holding out a minigun. The Inkling starts revving up her gun as Springman puts up his shield, blocking the burst of ink shots. As each ink shot hits the shield, it starts cracking and turning red. Right before Springman's shield shatters, the Inkling's gun stops, and Springman puts his shield down, throws out both of his flaming fists, burning the Inkling and knocking her back as they collide with her face. The Inkling grabs two dual-wield ink guns as she fires at Springman, who jumps up and grabs the Inkling, pulling her in and following up with an uppercut, launching her into the air. The Inkling, while falling, shoots her guns down at Springman, hitting him in the face multiple times before she pulls out a tablet and launches a giant rocket towards Springman. As the Inkling lands, Springman launches his boomerang arms, blowing up the missile in midair. The Inkling transforms into the Kraken and charges towards Springman, who dodges aside and punches her in the jaw and follows up with an uppercut, throwing her into the air and burning her. The Inkling girl then falls to the ground as Springman glows yellow, launching out a barrage of punches towards the Inkling, who pulls out a paint bucket and splashes at both of Springman's arms, knocking him down. She then pulls out the paint roller and rushes towards Springman and slams the paint roller straight down to Springman's head, shattering his skull and splattering his brains on the ground. She then starts painting up all the walls and floors as she swims around in his blood. Oh, wow, that was gruesome. What the hell? She's swimming in his blood? Oh. Anyway, our winner is the Inkling girl. And yeah, it's pretty clear why she would take this win. Looking at strength and durability, Springman can survive hits and overpower max brass. He uses an exploding fist meant to tear down buildings over time, giving him wall level plus strength and durability. The Inkling, on the other hand, has weapons capable of redirecting huge metal fists and demolishing large robots, and they can survive shots from their own weapons, giving her at least building level strength and durability. So the Inkling takes the strength and durability category easily. But what about speed? Well, Springman can dodge 16 projectiles at once and take on 4 people at once, and win. So he has a fairly impressive set of speed feats, but the Inkling does have him beat, as she can dodge shots from other Inkling's ink blasts that have been calculated to move at subsonic speeds, putting her above Springman in speed as well. Not to mention, Springman's arsenal is lacking, only including 3 weapons. Whereas if you look at the Inkling, she's got an overwhelming arsenal of, well, powerful weapons, allowing her to dominate and control the battlefield. Yeah, Springman has 2 throwable punches, but they all have very predictable ways of working, whereas the Inkling has multiple bombs, guns, different fire rates, and all sorts of different shit. Plus, with all this, explosions and ink going all over the place, it's more than likely that one of these is going to hit his fist at some point, make it go limp, allowing her to have an easier access to beating the shit out of him. Especially since when one of Springman's arms goes limp, he actually struggles to move. He can't even dash. This would make it incredibly easy for the Inkling to not only take advantage of this weakness, but easily destroy him in this fight. Honestly, the Inkling had almost every advantage other than experience that has to go to Springman, who's older, but that's just not enough to give him a win. Looks like Springman wasn't well enough armed to beat the Inkling. Our winner is the Inkling. Next time on Combo Breaker. Akame versus Carnage. Which one of these vicious killers will come out on top in a fight to the death? First of all, let me thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this to any friends you know who like versus debates. And, tell me what you think of the next match. Give me your predictions, maybe suggest matches in the comments, and they might happen.